Design a study in 50 steps, step 21. I didn't forget about this, y'all. At this step, you either have your IRB approval or you have your consent form and you are ready to recruit people. Get people to join your study. So that's the step, start recruiting people. But you can't be all loosey-goosey about it. You need a strategic plan. I just read this study where they recruited people on social media and they're and we put it in Facebook groups and we targeted people on Instagram. And I was just that's not enough details for me to know if you did a good job recruiting the right people for your study. What Facebook groups? How did you pick people on Instagram? Remember all that criteria you thought about of things that you wanted people in your sample to have? Be thinking about that criteria and then be thinking about okay, how do I get to people who meet that criteria? What is the best pathway? And the pathway you choose to recruit matters a bunch because it's really going to influence your credibility, the legitimacy of your results. When a study hinges on someone just tweeting out a link, to me, they're sample the people who participate immediately sus. Because you have limited control over who is going to see and find that link. So I'm always recommending that people partner with organizations that serve the groups of people they are interested in, because that gives them a tighter, more well-defined sample. So if it's between using your social media to find entrepreneurs in their 30s and partnering with local chambers of commerce to find entrepreneurs in their 30s, I would rather you go to the Chamber of Commerce because you can make a clear argument for why you went there. Why was that a good choice to find this group of people? And you have a clear idea of what is the total possibility of people who could say yes. Whereas if you just put it out on the internet, you don't know who's going to see it or who's not going to see it. And you don't have an idea of what is the total number of possible people who could participate. I love partnerships for this reason. Could there be a cool study that focuses on specific Reddit groups that go in really deep? Or specific Facebook groups? Yes, whatever route you choose, it's not that there's a right or a wrong route. It's that I want you to be able to clearly defend why you chose that route and why it made the most sense and was most likely to get you to the people you want to collect data on. If it's you want people who've bought your product before, do you have an email list of those people? Easy, boom, done, right? This doesn't have to be hard. It does have to be thoughtful. So start recruiting, but be intentional and make sure you're sharing all the deets about your study up front so people know what they're opting into or out of.